It's time.
All right, here we go.
Cocktail show.
Get ready to have a good time.
Let's have a good time.
This is exciting, isn't it?
Oh, I like that.
Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
Wow.
I've allotted 1 hour for recreational activity. There's no time for irrelevant conversation. Fun will now commence.
Cocktail show.
Gary.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Gary. But wait, there's more.
I'm the guy.
Finger gun.
Garry Meier.
3, 2, 1, 0.
It's Todd Pickering welcoming you to the Garry Meier Show Cocktail Hour. Live.
Cocktails. Ooh, drinks.
It's time for a wee bit of fun on the Garry Meier Show Cocktail Hour Live. It's 10 p.m. in Ireland, and we're streaming at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central.
On the start of St. Patrick's Day weekend, Friday, March 15th, 2024.
And, of course, no matter where you are under the rainbow, it's time for a digital mimosa.
That's good. Disappeared.
Yep.
The best way to watch this show is the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
YouTube. Subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
More eyeballs. It's a good thing.
Please like and share the show on all the social media channels.
Comments during the live show, wherever we are streaming, can be seen in our virtual studio
We may show them on the screen.
and or talk about them.
And that's it.
Now, fasten your seatbelts. It's time to go wheels up on the GarrForce Live.
Live!
Live. Here we go. The following may be disturbing on America's podcast. Boom. Shakalaka. All right. Grabbing some oxygen, talking about Cuba. Where's my Manhattan? G. Miller with you as the Beaver. Welcome once again. And this is one of those big Fridays where we don't even need an excuse to drink because we got St. Patrick's Day on Sunday. So we're ready to go. And that will be enhanced by the fact that the official bartender of the GarrForce, Jenna Duddleston, will be here to give us her St. Patrick's drink. Now, I got to do a few things here. I'm going to kick the tires and I'm going to light them up. All right. Finger gun. Light them up, and then one more sequence has to happen. As you know, if you've watched it more than one time, we got to take that condom off, Leslie.
We certainly do. Top of the afternoon to y'all. And Ro wanted to know if I want a glass of Josh. I would have a glass of Josh, but I'm opening up some Oyster Bay Sauvignon Blanc today. And
How does it look?
It looks pretty good. So here we go,
Okay,
everybody.
Okay. 3,
Oh.
2.
3, 2, ooh.
Ooh,
So,
premature,
it's-
but we'll take it.
that's
And
what she said.
and cheers on the Ides. All right.
Cheers to yous.
All right. Ooh, that tastes good.
What the frack is going on with me here?
What the frack?
Mm.
Well, as we do every week, I strap on the screen door and we say hello to some people who have checked in. And that's what I'm going to do right now. Is it right?
Yes, it is.
It's right. And let's start from the top, and that would be with Keely Ann Allen. And she says, amateur night weekend, keep those Lucky Charms away from your schnauzer BTW. They aren't magically delicious. Yeah. Thank you, Key. And who else? Martin from British Columbia. He's a study here. He's here every week. We appreciate that. And that is beautiful country there. Charles from WRLR in Gurnee, Illinois, checking in. Charles sends me a lot of videos. Thank you, Charles. Brian from Oh Yes. And passing on the Manhattan tonight. And Guinness, opting for Guinness. Come see Oh Yes Sunday at Peggy Canane's in downtown Arlington Heights, Illinois, 5 to 9. Slante, is that how you say that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cheers.
And yeah, go see them if you're in that area. You will be very happy you did. Mike and Pat twisting the schnauzer fur into shamrocks. That's a nice decoration.
Oh, that might sting the schnauzer a little bit, though.
Greg from Decula, Georgia. I'm back, baby. Brother's estate all settled, and I'm ready to rock. Glad to have you back, Greg. And David R., St. Patrick's Day. I dyed the Schnauzer green. My wife does not like it. Hello from Oakland, Illinois. Hello. And Samantha. And she is in Mundelein, Illinois. She's here every week. She's got her mocktail of orange juice and cranberry juice, always ready to go. Sammy,
For you?
we appreciate that. Dale from Wheatfield, Indiana, the Wander State, represent. And Stick Save from my former hometown, Frankfort, Illinois. And who else? Mac. Greetings, GarrForce. Mac is back from Chi-Town, back in rainy Queen Creek, Arizona. They need the rain, don't they? It's all desert.
Seems like any rain is good rain in Arizona. Yeah.
Anthony, may you all find a 4-leaf clover. Yes. Do you have your Powerball and Mega tickets, Leslie?
I do not. Why? Is there
Big,
something
huge.
big going on?
Huge jackpots, yeah.
Oh.
Cindy, crazy week with a 52-hour pit stop in Delinkaville, Central Florida there. Now back to the previously scheduled tax season. She does taxes for a living, so that's what she means there. And this is the season.
She's not going to get much time off here for the next, month?
Yeah. Northwest Indiana, Kevin checking in. And the taxes are better. If you live in Illinois, a lot of you are moving over to Indiana, Wisconsin, and bordering states to get away from the tax structure. I think I'm aware of that, and I think you are too if you're familiar with that tri-state area. Sandy Lee, greetings from the backwoods of West Michigan. The asparagus is already popping up in the fields around here. Yeah, spring is in the air everywhere.
I got daffodils in the backyard. It's very springy.
But then it's going to get cold, right, and kill them all.
Yeah. So
what do they know? They're just following whatever is out there. Deb, Des Plaines, Illinois, ready for takeoff for the cocktail hour. And we are wheels up. We're good. We're about cruising altitude right now. And in about a half hour, more cruising altitude.
But you're keeping your belt on because that's just the way you fly.
Tighten, yes.
Okay.
I like talking about this, as you know, if you're a regular listener. Have you noticed now every newscast, network newscast, is about some plane hiccup?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, every damn thing that happens on a plane, David Muir is ready to go apoplectic, as he always is. A wheel came off. An engine fire. Tell me if it crashed and people were killed. Otherwise, I don't want to hear it, because these planes are built to go through all kinds of stress, and they do, and nobody's died, and they keep reporting on this because they're trying to get into Boeing's crap. And I understand that Boeing needs to tighten up, no doubt. But come on, this is ridiculous now.
The latest one was a plane that lost its fuel, but I'm thinking, once again, like shark attacks, I'll bet you some of that stuff happens a lot
every day.
And we don't hear about it.
And why? I asked this last week when they had the video of the wheel coming off. How do they have somebody following these planes? And I mean, it looks like somebody's there dedicated to a plane that's in stress. And how did that just happen? Like it's America's Funniest Videos.
Though, as Ryan, I think it was Ryan, explained.
I think Alan mentioned this too, that they have dedicated cameras on top of the airport's roofs for this. Right, Alan?
Yeah, there's an LAX feed that comes up in mine all the time. I know there's one out at SFO. I've seen O'Hare pop up in my feed. There's aviation enthusiasts, just like here in Central Florida, we have the rocket enthusiasts, and they do very professional looking broadcasts on each of our launches.
I can see that because that's magnificent, and we don't see that all the time. But these videos of these planes, it looks like the camera is completely locked on that plane. Are you saying every plane that takes off has that feature where they can go back and look at any video?
Well, some of these YouTube channels broadcast live. I mean, for hours and hours and hours on end. Just start flipping around your YouTube, Gary, just like our YouTube channel, the GarrForce Live.
When you get tired of watching eagles' nests or corn grow or power washing, you can
stump
watch
grinding.
airplanes. Yeah.
Okay, or a barge pulling bikes out of the canals in Amsterdam.
Now that one is special, but
Hey, look who's in the comment section, Leslie. Dieter Sturm, award winner, Academy Award winner, Dieter Sturm. Happy Fish Friday, everybody. Yeah, if you're Catholic, this has been going on for decades, where you go to your local church and get a fish sandwich.
the Knights of Columbus have perfected the frying of fish, and and make the most of it during this Lenten season.
And
By
that's
the
how it
way,
starts on the
Johnny
sidewalk.
from Michigan probably will not be joining us here early on in the show because he's going to Stations of the Cross. He was last week's big winner, and so his prize package is in the mail.
Okay, Johnny is he's very religious, and that's fine. I just hate to have to compete with the Stations of the Cross.
You lose.
Yeah, this is your station right here. The broadcast station is right here. Rose said, remember when people used to drive out to O'Hare and sit next to the airport and watch planes take off? I have to confess, I worked in a town next to O'Hare International, and I would do that.
Well, didn't they have like an observation deck where you could just
Yeah, I
go
think, yeah.
and sit in a lounge chair and do just that?
I don't know if there's a lounge chair. Wow.
Now you can
Okay,
just sit
maybe
on the
they mean
tri. Now you can just sit on the tri-state.
Yeah, it's the expressways are all around the airport. You just pull over and
Well, you don't have to pull over. It's usually bumper to bumper, so
That's
you
true.
got plenty
You're
of
not
time.
moving half the time in Chicago, and you're next to the airport. Oh, look at that. The great thing about this airport, if you are familiar with the Chicago International Airport there, they have an arena that is right next to the airport. And I went to see a concert a couple of years ago there, and I was caught in traffic, not moving. The runway is right past the arena. And I'm sitting there, and these planes are 50 feet above this arena as they come in to land. It's amazing to see what kind of clearance they have.
Well, weren't there questions when they were building that arena about whether the vibrations of the plane affecting the
Yeah, I don't think that
construction?
if you've
There
been
was
to a concert,
there
at
was
this
an
place-
accident during construction that
That's-
I don't know that they ever pinned it on the vibrations, but they did talk a lot about it on the news back then, that the vibrations contributed to the collapse or something of that nature.
Okay, but if there's any error in the landing, is what I'm referring to here, and there's a concert. I mean, they're right there. At every 90 seconds, they're coming. It's I love watching that stuff. I know I sound like and former Partridge member Danny Bonaducci accused me of being impressed by anything that's shiny, and I thought, wow,
Well,
Danny, a little
ouch.
angry there, aren't you? I'm just in wonder of things that I think we take for granted, and it's hundreds of thousands of pounds of metal and things going up in the air. I don't know why I'd get used to that. I think that's pretty fascinating still.
No matter how often I fly. But I did learn something. If you watch flight attendants during takeoff, they do sit on their hands. Have you ever seen that thing
I
they
just
do?
saw that story. You're
Did you
referring to
see
that
that thing?
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason why they do that.
And it's not just because it's a cute pose. It's because they're already assuming crash position. So while the rest of us are just worried about having to turn off our electronic devices, they're already going, yep, this thing could go down at any
Yep.
minute. I better sit on my hands just in case.
I don't know how that makes it any safer for them, but they do it. And we've all noticed it, and now we know why.
Well, it prevents you from going, ah!
Yeah, that's true. That's a good reason too, right? Okay. All right. So you, as mentioned, and we can save this for the Bettenhausen commercial, or we can do it now. It doesn't matter. You had witnessed a hit and run the other day and were able to be available to the police for more information.
I was the only witness to this crime. As a guy backed out of a spot at an Ace Hardware in New Lenox, the Ace Hardware in New Lenox. Shout out to manager Vicky, who helped crime dog this thing. But I watched this. It was crazy. It was like the person driving the SUV didn't even use their steering wheel. They just kind of pulled out of a spot and smashed into this brand new, beautiful white Dodge Challenger. And I walked around the store. Excuse me, the owner of that white Challenger. And I explained to this young man who came forward that somebody had just crashed into their car. And we went out to the parking lot, took a look, and yeah, there was some front end damage on this thing. So called the police, non-emergency number. And New Lenox police showed up, took my witness report, and then they went to the surveillance tape and caught this person on camera, caught the entire incident. So the the aftermath of all this, the guy whose car it was said, "Oh, it's a car from my work," and then it came out that his work was Bettenhausen Automotive, and boy, it was a lovely car, and maybe they can fix it up a little bit, and I don't know how they handle it.
They'll
But
fix it up like new. But your first thought was to jump on the fleeing
I
car's
ran out
hood?
after it just to see if I could get even part of a license plate number, but I couldn't. But in the meantime, the surveillance video caught this person dead to rights. The officers apparently called this person up, and the brilliant person hung up on them.
Wow. Okay.
So then the officers made a trip to this person's home, and I'm thinking it's probably not going to go as well for you when you first hang up on them, and then on top of leaving the scene of a crash. But yeah,
Leslie, he's of the mindset that if I don't hang around, I won't be
Yeah.
guilty. If I hang up, that discontinues the flow of the case. See, he's got it all figured out.
Oh yeah. There was another woman in the store though, and this was really disturbing. And she was questioning, why are you making such a big deal about this? I've hit cars and driven away before.
She said that.
I'm like, lady, that's not good. If everybody did this, the world would be in chaos. And it didn't connect. She's like, yeah, I've hit cars before.
You had a Ryan Corcoran kind of day,
I
and
did.
Ryan saw your day, and he trumped
He
you
topped it. Oh
with,
God.
with something that happened to his parents. And when I bring him on, my God, now
Wait.
it's flowing over to his parents.
This was my big story, and Ryan had at least 4 more stories
Right, that
immediately
were
after.
crazy.
The lady with the vacuum at the car wash, and
Topless, yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I think we're ready to wet some whistles here with the official bartender, Jenna, who has a St. Patrick's drink. And this has to be your Super Bowl, right?
It's up there, yeah. It's like second Christmas.
Nice.
Look at the
Okay, and
background, it's
your
green.
family's bar. I knew somebody in high school whose family owned a liquor store, and they said they did 40% of the year's business between Thanksgiving and the end of the year. What kind of percentage is a St. Patrick's weekend for a bar? If you had to put a number on it.
Oh my God. It's probably, I'd say, like somewhere between like 30 and 40.
In 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
30%
so.
of the whole year is in 3 days.
I mean, like, I'm telling you, like, you'd be amazed how many people come in and out and
No, I
just
wouldn't.
throw money. Like
No, I would not be amazed. That's what I'm
it's-
thinking
yeah.
on this kind of weekend in Chicago, in a neighborhood that is predominantly Irish.
Yeah.
Really, you're just printing money?
Yeah. Yeah. I like to look at it that way. And it's a lot of fun. It's
Yeah.
like normally, yeah, I like take off and I kick my feet up the next day. By the time that night ends, my feet are like pulsing. They hurt so bad. But I know that when that happens, it means it's been a good night, So, and knock on wood, we haven't had any fights in like probably like 7 years, which is huge, like insane, because that night is like everyone's, a little tougher in their britches, or they try to be, and it's just not like it's not necessary. Like, have fun, be merry, be bright, be Irish. Like, everyone's Irish on that day. Just have fun. So
Yeah, and don't end up with Irish sunglasses, which are 2 black eyes, or is 2 black eyes. Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
Yeah.
Don't
You should have
don't do
Irish
that.
Irish handcuffs. That's a drink in each hand. That's fine.
Correct.
But
Then
Irish
they can't throw a
sunglasses, you don't
punch.
want.
Correct. Yeah. Just
Okay.
have fun.
So,
Just
what
have
time
fun.
does your bar open today? Say,
Today it's
and then,
open. It's already open.
but
It's
but do you open at 11 this morning?
no, we'll open at like 2 on Friday, and then tomorrow we'll be open at noon, and then we'll be open at noon on Sunday, and Saturday we'll be there till 3, and Sunday we'll be there till 2.
3A.
3 a.m.
Yeah. Wow.
So I'll be there till I'll be there till 3, but if I probably won't get home until like 4:30.
Okay. Well, again, if
It's a lot of
you
fun.
have a weekend like that, you don't mind it because it's not every
No.
weekend.
No, it's like it's once in a blue moon, and you have fun and you do it. And I mean, as crazy as it sounds, I actually have more fun working than I do like indulging in it. Well, that too, because the gold coins definitely make it a little bit more fun. But no, you get to like interact with everyone, and you see people, and I don't know, it's a lot of fun. And obviously with my family being a part of it, it's we don't get to see everyone on Christmas this year, or just like in the years past, because our family's grown so big that everyone comes for St. Patrick's Day. So all of the cousins come, their kids come. So it's fun to see like little kids run around in the bar. But again, if you've like grown up in an environment like that, it's the most normal thing on the planet.
Oh,
And
little kids in bars. That's
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's so
And
sweet.
last year I had people like barking at me for orders, and I think she at the time was 5. My 5-year-old niece was like, "Jenna, I need cheese balls." And I was like, "I'm busy." She's like, "I don't care." So I stopped everything I was doing, and I was like, "You guys want to tell her that she got to wait?" And they were like, "You can go give her cheese balls. That's fine. We'll wait for the beer." And the little girl got to cut in front of the line of grown men and women to get her cup
That's
of cheese balls.
that is a Norman Rockwell right there.
Yeah.
This year she's going to start a bar fight, but that's beside the point.
I hope she does it.
Do you dye your beer green? I mean, is there any
No.
of that going on? Okay.
No, just it's like your mouth's gonna be green, your tongue's gonna be green, your teeth's gonna be green, my hands would be green. It's silly, it's ridiculous. Just like have a beer, have a shot of whiskey, call it a day. Like no green beer. I just think green beer is very overrated and
The
annoying.
only thing green is the currency on the bar.
Correct.
Boom.
I will take
Shot
that.
clock.
Boom.
Now, you were telling us before we went live about the year you entered to be the queen of the St.
Yeah.
Patrick's Day parade.
Yeah. Yeah. So to give a little backstory, I grew up going to the downtown parade as a kid, like probably until I was like a teenager. So, you always see the queen, and she's in this like beautiful green emerald long like gown or whatever it is, and a crown. I'm like, I want to do that. Right. So I think I was probably like 24 when I finally got to enter. And you have to fill out like a questionnaire, probably write a little something like why you want to be the queen, right? And I thought for the first time in my life that I had nepotism on my side, right? I don't normally have that, but my cousin many, many years ago was the queen. So she was like, listen, these are the questions that are going to be, you should be prepared for. And so I was like, awesome. Like I'm in, right? So I made it through the first round. I was like, yes, round 1, go to round 2. Round 2, you have to go to the microphone and you have to say why you want to be queen and what being queen would mean to you. So you got to, got to be a very pageantry. And if you guys have known me now for a while, I'm not. And I think I said something about wanting it for my family and the bar, and it would mean a lot to our business. And I've wanted this since I was a little girl, right? Then this girl goes up there. And her hair is like flawless, right? It's like very Jacqueline Onassis style. She's got her shoulder like dipped, and she's leaning towards the microphone, and she goes, I've been wanting to be the queen forever, and it was my mother's dying wish that I would be queen one day. And I was like,
oh boy.
I sat there and I was like, so we can all go home. We can go home now, right? It was like that's it. So next week I ended up going backstage because none of us made it to the next round essentially at that point, because she won. To fast forward, she won. She was the queen. Don't remember her name, but God bless her and her mom. And there was a man backstage who was the equivalent to Austin Powers' fat bastard in a kilt. And he looked at me and said, lass, you ought to smile a little bit more often. And at this point, this was after I had found out about Dead Mom and no one was going to win. And I'm back there and I wish I would have told him, and I couldn't. I mean, I didn't say this in the moment, but I was like, sir, I'll smile when you can see your sausage and dingleberries. But until then, I'm not smiling. But I didn't say that. I didn't say that. And I went home and I realized that I was not pageant material, Gary and Leslie, and I've never been. I'm people material. I'm bar material. No, it's okay. It's not really in my cup of tea. I'd rather, be on this side.
Sashes are bulky. Crowns, they shift. They'll mess up your flawless hair.
My name is Jenna Duddleston, and if I am queen, I will bring peace to Haiti and eradicate all the gangs, and I clean up Mount Everest. I promise. It's just funny. This is good for business. That's why I'm doing this.
Yeah, it's
good for business.
It's good for business, right? Yeah, and then I just, it was a mess. It was a mess.
As the former queen of the St. Matthias Carnival, I can tell you it's not all it's cracked up to be. And the other girls will hate you afterward and want to beat you up on the way home from school. So you were better off this way.
Yeah, I think I like where I stand now, but it is I honestly forgot about that story until like this week. I just started thinking about it and I was like, that was wild. Like that is like
funny.
That is wild. And also like, I think it was that girl's like first year in, and most people, there's a lot of politics that go into this that like I wasn't aware of, that, you keep coming back. Maybe you get it like year 3 or year 4. And I'm like, I got to keep showing up for this. Like, are you kidding me? And, she knocked it out of the park, man. Like she knocked it out of the park.
Next year, I'll have a dead dog or something to talk about, and an uncle who works for the plumbers union. Yeah, a lot can change.
A lot can change. But yeah, I'm gonna stay on this side of the bar. I've retired my pageantry for the one day that it was, and I'm never doing it again. And it was ironic because I think the next year Casey Musgraves came out with an album called Pageant Material. And the song is all about how she's not pageant material. And I'm like, I've never related to a song more in my entire life because I am not. So that was fun. It's okay.
You gave it a shot.
I gave it a go. You got to put yourself a little outside of your comfort zone. And
what's the worst that can happen? You got 5-10 minutes of material. I always look at it that way. If something bad happens, that's 10 minutes of material. If it goes smoothly, I got nothing. But this is a nice little story.
Yeah, I got, dead mom and fat bastard, and me trying to become the queen. Who would have thought what a combination it would be?
Well, let me cheer you up with something a listener did. Listener viewer Tom put together. Ryan, if you want to put that picture up, and this will be the official poster.
Oh my God. I love it.
There you go.
Oh boy.
What a photo, guys.
I've always
Thank you,
wondered
Tom.
what I would look like with a beard. No.
Maybe I should be a redhead.
Well, and we're going to see what you look like with a mustache if that tail gets in the way.
I could probably do that right now. There we go.
There it is.
Oh,
all right. Well, what is the drink for this St. Patrick's Day?
The drink for this St. Patrick's Day is my take on an Irish coffee. So for those of you who are going to obviously we start drinking early this day, but if you're like me, you need your coffee in the morning. And I wanted to make this for you guys in a way that's really simple, not too hard. We're not doing the crazy Irish foam because that's just a lot of work. And I just don't think there's enough in return. So I suggest doing this in a to-go cup, but you can do it in whatever you'd like. So we're going to do 1 ounce of Jameson. I would definitely suggest not doing more than that. Always do less and then add more if you're going to. But realistically, I don't think you need more than that. Then we're going to take some Baileys. I love Baileys. You guys love Baileys as much as I do? Or is it just,
I do.
My God, I love it. We're going to do a little half ounce, maybe a little more because I like it, of that guy. And then take whatever coffee of choice you have. Hot coffee. You could even do cold, I guess, if you're a cold brew person, but I like hot. Pour it on in. And then if you want to get fancy, I hope I have enough in here. Just a little bit of, yeah, I don't have enough. Okay. A little bit of whipped cream to drink it through. That's all I got. Sorry. And you have yourself a perfect little Irish coffee to kickstart your day. And then the beauty is if you buy the flask, guys, it fits.
Oh,
Look at that.
And no
it's
one knows.
recycling.
I know, right? So like,
You're so green.
I know you gotta be. I didn't realize this would fit so perfectly. But it really does.
Just don't fall backwards.
No, that would
That
be
could be
really
brutal.
bad.
That would be bad.
That would be bad.
Well, cheers. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy Patty's Day, guys. I'm happy that I get to spend it with you guys to kickstart the weekend off, man.
Yeah, I was thinking that you might be available this Friday because things are crazy at the bar, but you made some time for us, and I appreciate that.
Of course. I love it here. And honestly, it would be weird, I think, to not kickstart the weekend because like it starts today. I'm like easing into it because tomorrow is gonna be like probably a 20-hour day, it feels like. And then I'll see how I feel on Sunday.
So
do the
when
you get home and count the tips.
Yeah. Say that, Leslie, again. Sorry.
So do the people from downtown Chicago just like amble down to the south side after this? Or is it a separate crowd?
I feel like it's a mix. So like you don't get the people that are like, heads over puking by any means, because I think they just stay downtown.
Okay, because that's what I was concerned about.
Yeah.
Like, do they eventually find their way into your place, unfortunately?
We do get people though who like come in every year for St. Patrick's Day, which is really cool. So we'll get them a little later in the night, but like the morning time, honestly, it's kind of turned into like a family time. So a lot of people who are like in the area, like will bring their kids. And so again, it's like, it's this weird little, you're not supposed to have kids in a bar, but like you have a baby in a bar and it's like totally acceptable and fine. And I love it. So, it's great.
So the baby's in a car seat on the bar eating cheese balls.
Yeah. But now a lot of my babies, at least like my younger nieces, nephews, and little cousins, they're 10 to 6 months. But the 6-month-old obviously isn't walking. But yeah, they're everywhere.
Obviously, that's a right use of obviously.
Obviously,
once in a while you hear of a 6-month-old starting to walk, right?
Yeah,
but that's not usual.
No.
And Leslie had a story this week.
But they do know how to like pull a beer and tilt the glass so that you don't get too big of a head.
They do love
very talented babies.
I will say this. They love, especially if it's like a can that I don't have to open, like they love delivering the beer. They love it. So I'm like, go ahead. Sweet. Like, I'm like, it's a cool little like core memory that gets to be made. Yeah. And even, cause we're like cash only, if in like the earlier part of the day, if it's still slow, like they'll come behind the bar and I'm like, okay, we got to do the math now. Like what was the cost of this and this? And they gave me this much money. So how much money do we need to get back? And so it teaches them to be quick. And,
yes.
I will say that the patrons, like a lot of our patrons that come in, like are very patient and like very understanding about it, which I think makes it all that much better. And they love it. So it feels like you're in someone's home.
And then when the kids go to school on Monday, they could say how educational it was as they were serving beer because I learned to make change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You listen, bar education is a whole college degree in itself. Let's say that.
I was referencing a story that Leslie had this week because of a 6-month-old not being able to walk. And she had a story about this guy who was in an iron lung for 70 years. Polio Paul, right?
Polio Paul. He contracted polio at the age of 6 and then spent the next 72 years in the iron lung. He did teach himself to breathe somehow along the way, so he could leave for a couple hours. And here, you want to feel like you're underperforming? This guy in the iron lung finished college, became a lawyer, and even wrote his own autobiography. So when you're saying I can't do something, Think of Polio Paul.
Polio Paul.
Polio Paul. I'll think of
Imagine
him.
getting that deck of cards. We talk about our lives and, oh, we got a good deck, we got a bad deck, or we
Mhm.
got both in some respects, but in an iron lung for 70 years. I mean, come on.
I mean, I think that guy's the perfect example of the deck is how you perceive it and how you look at it. So he could have easily looked at it as like, this is probably the worst thing of my entire life, but it seemed like he did the opposite with it.
He made the most of it.
What are you going to do, right? And well, there are alternatives. He didn't do the one that some might do, and we
Mhm.
applaud Polio Paul on the GarrForce. He's the hero of the week.
Mhm.
And it was convenient that his name began with a P. I mean, it wouldn't be nearly as interesting to be Polio Harvey or anything. So
Right.
Yeah.
kudos to him.
Well, you're looking for the iron lung half full.
I certainly
Leslie,
am.
your cat is killing me.
This is Tula now, and she does let me wear the mustache.
Oh
Okay.
God.
God. Teeny, please.
Yeah. And that's one of Leslie is now up to what?
17.
7 cats?
Yeah,
17.
7. The one's pregnant, so we should be getting a litter or two here pretty shortly. And
That's exciting.
it's what all the gals my age are doing. So
I love it. I'm here for it.
Okay. Greg,
two. I have
taking
two.
it in a direction. If I was in an iron lung, I'd be jerking it all day. Okay.
All right, Greg.
Wayne, once polio was cured, they stopped medical interventions, I guess. Wow. Well, see, that's for those of us of a certain age with this vaccination situation over COVID.
Mhm.
All I needed to do was think about these kids in my classroom in leg braces and iron lungs. That was the extreme. But there were a
Mhm.
lot of leg braces, and I'm thinking, what's that? Oh, they have polio. Oh, I don't want that. How do I not get it? Just take this vaccination. Done.
Yeah.
And it was the coolest vaccination of them all because I don't know if they did it when you were young, but I got mine on a sugar cube. And so you're essentially lining up to eat sugar at a doctor's recommendation. It seemed like I mean, how cool is that? Every vaccination should be given on a little cube of sugar.
Then people would not be so resistant to taking it. Is that what
Maybe
you're saying?
that's it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's all in the marketing.
that's right.
Yep.
And the next go round with the virus or whatever, here are what we consider the facts. Here is what we consider the cure. You decide and have at it. And that's it, right? Because we're not going to go through this. Here's the thing. I wanted the cure to be Entenmann's raspberry coffee cake.
Oh, those are so good.
Oh my
All of
God. And
those.
every now and then my grocery store, and Entenmann's must do this around the country, where they have buy one, get one free.
Mm,
Now that's a good deal.
that's a great deal.
You know,
Oh,
you
I
can
could eat that
freeze
whole
those.
damn thing. Oh, I love raspberry and Entenmann's. They're the best, right? And if they made that
cheesecake.
into a vaccination, nobody would resist. Entenmann's, are you listening? Let me do a bang up job for you over by here. By the way, in a couple of minutes, Ryan's going to come on and tell us today we added several new platforms where the GarrForce is available around the world. And we're going to tell you what countries now can get the GarrForce. And we're going to be number one in certain places where if we can go in some of these countries with large populations and get a small fraction of the population, huge. Look out, Joe Rogan, coming for you. All right,
Love
Jenna, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, rest up for the weekend. All right.
Mm.
All right. Do you have any plans for St. Patrick's Day or tomorrow?
I'm working this weekend. I will be in Plainfield tomorrow and at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center on Sunday.
Donald Stevens was the mayor of this town, Rosemont, Illinois, which, speaking of O'Hare Airport, is right next to, well, technically O'Hare Airport is in Rosemont.
Right.
And this Don Stevens, this guy and his son is mayor now. So the family has kept it in their power, and thank God, because they took this little, Don Sr. took this little jerkwater suburban town and made it a mini metropolis.
Yep.
And what do they do with people that are good at? They started accusing them of being connected to organized crime. What? Okay, and they never had him on that. He never got dinged on that. And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. If this is organized crime, then all these other shitty towns should start going for it, because this guy made that town amazing.
As you pointed out, what do you want? You want organized crime, or do you want disorganized crime?
Yes.
Go with the organized.
Yeah,
every
this
time.
town is humming, and it is so well run.
This convention center, I mean, is enormous. But on top of that, they've got this discount outlet mall across the street that is so, I mean, in tune with who is shopping there and how they want to grow their customer base. They actually have big message boards inside the mall giving you all the arrivals and departures at O'Hare. So if you have like a 4-hour layover, go to the discount mall, spend a ton of money, and then be able to keep track of your flight as you're there.
Isn't that great?
That's
and you're 5 minutes from the airport.
Brilliant.
That's what I mean. This town is a model town and should be studied. If your town is not happening, find out what's going on in Rosemont, because they got it down. It was back in the day, I worked next to that town. It was all go-kart tracks and greasy spoons. And Don Sr. got rid of all that and started putting up these, as you mentioned, this outlet mall and this convention center and great restaurants. And now it is humming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
but hey, go with the Gary, Indiana program, because that's really working. Don't worry about it.
They hung up on you, didn't they, when you were talking about putting the pyramids down there?
I said, hey, you've been in squalor deteriorating for 50 some years. You might want to try anything. And I suggested pyramids, because the flight pattern to the other airport in Chicago, Midway Airport, there's a flight pattern right over Gary, Indiana. And if you're on the plane and see pyramids, where's that? I want to go see the pyramids. Or here's the other one. And this one I think has more legs: a military base. Because you're on a Great Lake, you could have big aircraft carriers coming in and out, and you put the military there, and then they would go into the city of Chicago and spend money and certainly jumpstart Gary, Indiana. What am I missing here? Oh, don't do anything. Go with what you've been doing, and just let it completely go down. Well, I don't know where it could go down anymore. It's completely gutted. God damn.
It's going to be a hard one to pull out.
I mean, I'm not the sharpest pencil in the box, but I could come up with some ideas that are better than no ideas, and some of the ideas that I've been seeing. Really?
And yet they roll their eyes when you roll out your ideas.
Oh my God. Okay. Where are we in the program? I think we're going to bring
Wherever
Ryan
you want
on.
to be, because you're in charge.
Well, if you call this being in charge, I'll just say, Ryan, how are you?
Hey, I'm okay. Going to the stations to cross next Friday during the day with Henry, but I'm here today. So
okay. And Henry's becoming quite the Catholic boy.
He is. He's well versed in the Catholic school and all the things that go with it. So
okay. And have you been to a Stations of the Cross before?
Yeah, they did it in first grade too. So
and I still am scarred. I just remember it being very long, and oh my God, what is this? And and that was many years ago. But I hope he enjoys it. Johnny from Michigan is there right now enjoying it. How many are there? 14? Do you remember, Leslie? 12, 14, 22, hike? I don't know.
And we've got a picture from Johnny that Leslie, he sent Leslie. There it is.
He is all prepared for Easter already.
Okay. That's a weird looking lamb, I have to say.
It is. It looks like my wife makes sometimes lamb cakes, and they don't always turn out in the first go. And that kind of looks like one of the ones that didn't turn out.
There was always a conundrum, though. Yeah, maybe it got warm in the store and something happened to its head. But the conundrum always: do you start at the head or do you start at the butt? And I think generally speaking, you start at the tail end and work
Yes, and
yourself
work your
up,
way
so
up.
it can
Yeah.
stare at you as you slowly eat away at its body. It's fun.
Yeah, it's same thing with the chocolate Santas and turkeys and those items. Where do you start?
You
Where
just bite
it's
the head off. You just bite the head off on the Santa.
yeah, get that out of the way,
And just get
and
it out
then
of the
work
way.
back. Yeah.
Work back. I've got to give a shout out to Rich, who is one of our listeners. I was at a Century store in Delafield in the bread aisle minding my own business, and I had someone come up to me and say, "Are you Ryan Corcoran?" And I said, "I am." "Oh, I recognized you from the show." He's a listener and fan of the show and wanted to say hello. So
Look, you getting recognized.
yeah, so that kind of started that was the Sunday of this week. That's been a weird week altogether. So that was a pleasant interaction.
Well, I mentioned that your parents had their tires slashed.
Yes,
And
a
now
doctor's
they're
appointment.
crazy adjacent because they're getting some of your atmosphere.
Yeah, and they did two. I mean, I guess one that we could have changed it to. It's okay, tow it wherever we're gonna go. So that kind of messed up my day yesterday. So
And they were in Rockford, Illinois.
Yep, at a medical appointment. So
wow.
Yeah. And then earlier we had the lady, not at the Buddy Bear car wash in Wisconsin, when it's 40 degrees, everybody takes their clothes off because it's summer, vacuuming topless. And that was another run-in I had.
You saw that.
I did. And then I had my friend I shouldn't say friend, an acquaintance, someone I know, using their tax return to buy cocaine.
Okay. They actually said this to you. They're using their tax refund to buy cocaine.
Yes. And I said, it really isn't probably a good idea to do that because of all the fentanyl. Well, you don't know anything. You're knee deep in, you're balls deep in manure. You're a celibate news anchor. You don't know anything. Oh, okay.
Well, that was a tirade of non sequitur.
It was. So I let them just say, okay, have fun with your cocaine.
You don't know what you're doing.
They learn from all those TV shows that they have to pay their taxes if they want to get away with the drugs. It's always about the money laundering and never about the drugs, right?
Right. So that's kind of been my week. I had a few other run-ins, but that was the crazy of the week.
Okay, and you don't know what you're doing, but she does, spending her tax refund on cocaine.
Yes,
you don't know what you're doing.
I'm not going to spend it on cocaine, so I'll have to go down a different road. Maybe bowling balls. My family will spend it really quick on all the bowling fun.
And you ran into her after that, and she did not complete the transaction because the guy didn't show up or something?
Yeah, right.
Oh, is that a drug deal gone bad?
It is.
Okay, because
so
I want to know about the one that goes well.
Is cocaine legal in Wisconsin? Is there something that I haven't?
It is not,
about?
and it is, and it's hard on the nose too. That was pointed out to me.
If you like cartilage,
they were going to try other orifices, is what they were going to try to see what they could do with it.
Okay, and that would be, I'm trying to think.
That would be in the butt, Gary. But in the butt, Bob.
In the butt, Bob. Really?
Yeah. So that's what comes about. And again,
doing butt shots recently, and somebody ended up dying. Not to mention the fact, once again, tissue damage. Probably a little bit of that along the way too.
I'll tell you what.
I thought that was for transportation only.
That's what it's for, right?
There's Gary's. That's your standby one. That's your standby one. You might have to have that inserted to win the Powerball this week. So you might get another one.
Did you get your tickets?
I did.
Ryan, did you get your tickets?
I did.
Leslie
I got
did
one.
not.
I got one in Illinois when I was down there before all the fun, and then I got one up here. So.
Okay.
Do we know?
Here we go.
Wait. We don't know a lot of things, including the fact that, well, I didn't know there are 14 stations of the cross, but do we know what the Powerball
last time when I saw it, when I was talking to Gary the other day, it was like 792.
800 something.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that works for
worth
you.
playing then.
Yeah.
Okay. I mentioned earlier, Ryan, that today we activated some more platforms to get GarrForce. We are now available in India.
We are on Ghana, GAANA, and then JIOSAAVN, among other platforms. But those are those are the ones we activated internationally. But we're also added Audacity and Amazon.
Odyssey.
Yeah.
Audacity is what
Odyssey.
that company should be called for the way they handled it.
And then Amazon
Odyssey,
Music.
Amazon Music.
Yeah. So we added a few to the repertoire today. So we'll see how that. And Deezer. Deezer, am I saying that? Deezer? I wasn't familiar with that. That's another one. So
no, but we should say namaste to our hopefully millions of new Indian
1% of India's population. If I could get them, that's 13 million people. 1%. And then we're doing a remote in Calcutta or Bombay.
Sure.
Imagine. Hello.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Gary.
Unfortunately, it's 4:20. It's 4:20 a.m. over in India right now.
But this will post, and they can watch it anytime.
They can listen to
and they're one of the places on the half hour, so we can start adding that to the opening if you want. Right? It's 50 minutes after the hour here, but it's only 20 minutes.
Oh, they're on the half hour.
Yes. That's an odd way to go.
Talk about.
But hey, it's India. Whatever they want to do.
I think everybody's finally over the time change. It's messed us up. I know that. It's just
a terrible week.
Yeah.
I don't know why this one, but
yeah. I mean, it's messed the dog up. It's messed Hank up. It's messed kind of everybody up.
Yeah, and I don't know why. It's just an hour.
The sun is lighting up Angry Mama better than I've seen on my screen.
Yes, look at that. Look at that.
On fire. It is.
Yeah, you're getting
bright.
some good sunshine.
Yippee.
I like to see
It's
Angry
still chilly,
in the sun.
but that's okay.
Angry getting some sun. Nice.
Hey, asshole, but my eyes are always squinty, so it doesn't really matter.
That's
true.
That a girl. All right, before we do your report, and you have pictures, Ryan?
I do. I just have a couple pictures. Yep.
Okay, but you have a recorded report.
I do.
Before we do that, let's pay homage to Bettenhausen Automotive.
The staff at Bettenhausen has been given strict marching orders to sell as many Jeeps as possible. During the Jeep Celebration event, Bettenhausen Jeep has $4,500 total cash on 3-row limited Overland and Summit Grand Cherokees. Right now, get 15% off MSRP on Jeep Gladiators. Lease a new Grand Cherokee Laredo for $359 per month. Strict orders to have every vehicle clearly marked with the bottom line, no hidden fees, Bettenhausen price. Showroom never closes at BettenhausenCDJR.com.
Sandy Lee said they should do the FM Stations of the Cross, and it would be as dark and sad if they did that theme. Hey, on the Facebook, I saw a posting where Mike Bettenhausen honored an employee who had been there, still is, 45 years. Wow. And that tells you a lot about the company. You want to be around the Bettenhausen people. And Mike gave the guy and his wife a new set of luggage and a check to go on a trip.
That's really cool.
Now, this guy, I looked at him, and if he's been there 45 years, he looked maybe 50. Did he start when he was 5? He looked so young, and that's what happens when you work with people that are enjoyable. You stay young.
Do you remember the story about the guy who never missed a day of work? I think he was working for a fast food chain.
Yeah.
And they gave him
a key ring. A rabbit's foot,
straws,
right? A napkin, and that got out, and there was a GoFundMe, and he got what, $200,000 in the GoFundMe. So it was the best thing that ever happened.
But in the meantime, you don't have to worry about that if you're an employee at Bettenhausen, because they take care of their people
right,
and their cars. God, I love my car.
And that's a used vehicle that Leslie got with her husband Tim, and it looks new, and you can't go wrong either way. Yeah. Yep. Beautiful car. David Hochberg takes care of people too. He saves you money if you're looking for a mortgage, a reverse mortgage, veterans loan, any of the things that you associate with buying a house, this or condo or townhouse. This is the guy. Those are the numbers. He'll give you a free consultation. You can't go wrong with that. I guess the lending rate has gone down again, and now there's a frenzy, they say. You might want to take advantage of that, and he'll tell you how to do that. David Hochberg. All right, we are ready for that recorded Wisconsin report.
Wisconsin, ya hey.
Hey everybody, it's Ryan from Wisconsin. It seems the dollar store has fallen on hard times lately. First Family Dollar says they're going to close 1,000 stores because this quarter profits are lower. Here closer to home, the Mineral Point Dollar General, all the staff just walked out. One day, customers came to the door and found a sign that said, "We all quit. We're unhappy with the working conditions and the donation policy that Dollar General has." Apparently, there's controversy about how they donate expired products versus close to expired products, and the staff weren't happy, so they all left. Maybe they got a job at the Family Dollar down the road. So we'll have to keep an eye if the dollar stores are now going to turn into $7 stores, as the article suggested that many are retooling to continue to increase profits and basically screw over the customer that used to be able to go in there and get 5 items and walk up to the register and it'd be $5. Switching gears a little bit, don't we all like to gamble? Well, here in Wisconsin, many bars sell a product called pull tabs. Well, how can bars sell that if they're not lottery authorized? Well, they get around the law because you get a little thing called a milk cap or a POG, and attached to that is the winning number or winning dollar amount that you can cash in at the bar. Most winnings are anywhere from $500 to $1,000, so not job quitting kind of money. Bars say they sell between 1,500 and 3,000 of these little pull tabs each week, netting the bar about $1,000. So if you're looking for some quick money, stop by the bar, have a brandy old fashioned, and get some pull tabs. We'll talk soon.
How much are the pull tabs?
$1.
Okay. And there might be nothing underneath that, right?
Might be $1,000. I know someone that at the bowling alley where Jamie goes, they retooled all their bowling equipment because they won $1,000.
No.
Oh, very nice. Got one of those Darth Vader hand things.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's like a bracelet.
Yeah. When you're really hardcore, you
Yes.
pull out this thing, and then you only use like 2 holes on your bowling ball.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
The third
Now
one's just,
the third one is just for show. It's cosmetic.
Yes.
You don't need it. That dollar store story, yeah, I read where these employees were upset because Dollar's policy was to throw out anything that's remotely close to expiration, and they said it wasn't bad. They could have donated that. So there's a lot of waste. And now they're closing all these stores. Yeah, the dollar concept, they should have thought about that years ago. Okay, I like it, but now it's $1.25 and it's going to be inching up. And now the whole concept is blowing because it says dollar, but it's $1.25 in most places.
Or
now.
$7 or whatever.
Yeah. And the whole thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Virus, Wuhan virus. You stay with what you're known for.
And this is where Five Below decided to get ahead of the trend. But now, they're probably going to be filed in the dustbin of history by 10 Below or 20 Below. Yeah.
Nice
would you prefer they just put fewer potato chips in the bag like the retailers do?
Yeah.
You know, shrinkflation.
Yep.
Well, that's what Dollar does. Yeah. You can buy, say,
a mini bottle of ketchup, right?
Yeah. Right. Reynolds wrap, and you look at it, and it's got about
3 feet of it.
3 feet, and but it's $1, so you get what you pay for.
Yes. So, I have 2 pictures that I think we got 2 pictures that we didn't show. The other ones we already showed. So,
okay, a listener sent me this.
Oh,
self-explanatory.
Yes, I think it is.
Just don't like when the beaver is denigrated like that. Just yeah.
He swims faster.
That's true.
And here's the other one. That was from a story this week that we
talked about that story this week, and this is the picture. Now, it was on Facebook, right? Did you say yeah?
No, I got the New York Post this came from.
Okay. But Ryan sends me pictures that I would think would be banned from Facebook, as I have been flagged for stuff that's benign compared to what he's been showing me. And this picture is all naked people. And the story was, as you can see in the headline, 60% of them are unattractive, according to one of the people on the cruise.
Like I said, you can have the most incredible body, but with the wrong angle, the wrong lighting,
Just like vacuuming your car topless. That probably wasn't the best angle for that lady to be in.
But
Gotta
the
stop
boys did
here.
honk.
There's the tone, news, traffic, weather, and sports back in 15.
What's the show that the lady's washing her car and she's rubbing up against the car and the guys
Cool
are
Hand Luke.
Okay.
Cool Hand Luke. Oh, look at her. Look at her. They're going to come out, Luke. Oh, look at her.
I couldn't pull that out of my head. And I thought, oh, that reminds me of that, but I couldn't come up with it.
Hey, as the internet does, I read across this once. There's a picture of that woman, girl, at that point, she's probably 18 or 19, as she looks today, because she's in her late 70s.
70s, 80s,
And they have
yeah.
both the pictures next to each other. And you don't have the transitional time, the gradual aging. It's jarring. Let me just say that.
So instead of cleaning the windows, she's now cleaning the hubcaps. Have things like sunk a little bit, but
She's working, a little lower.
Sorry.
All right. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. See you later.
All right. Leslie's got a couple stories.
I certainly do. Ones that we teased. We had some building stories on the morning tease, and first of which, an Australian businessman is reviving plans to build a replica of the Titanic. Mining tycoon Clive Palmer first floated the idea of bringing the Titanic back to life 10 years ago, but things came up and plans were delayed, making some believe that this was all a joke or a hoax. But this week, Mr. Palmer held a press conference at the Sydney Opera House and announced that the project is back on and far superior to anything on the drawing board previously. Where the ship will be building, we don't know where that's going to be taking place, but Palmer says the ship of, quote, love and the ultimate style and luxury should be ready for its maiden voyage within the next 3 years.
Yeah, that maiden
What
voyage.
could go wrong?
Yeah, when you say maiden voyage, and there is Hank and Ryan's lovely wife Jamie with the kit, the Lego kit of the Titanic. I think he said it came in 3 different boxes. It was so big.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maiden voyage is what the real Titanic was on when it sunk.
Which is why I think this whole it'll be better than ever if they just have enough lifeboats. That would be an improvement.
Yeah, that's key. That's clutch.
The developer,
and the guys won't be distracted by the cameras this time either, Gary.
Well, I
they're
solved
much more
the
used to them now.
mystery. I've said it before when I went to the exhibition when it was in Chicago. I watched this movie, The Building of the Titanic, and I'm watching it, and as I zapruder a lot of things, the guys that are doing the riveting are so fascinated by the cameraman, because cameras were new at that point in the early 1900s, that you could tell they were missing some rivets along the way. They just, and sure enough, because that ship should not have sunk, even with the damage, the gash that it did receive from the iceberg was not enough, if things were built right on the ship, for it to sink. Solved it.
I hear that folks at Boeing are going over that video.
Yeah, okay, yes.
The developer of what is proposed to be the nation's tallest skyscraper says they're back on track to break ground sometime in this summer. Financing has been secured for the 1900 7-foot Legacy Tower. No one would be batting an eye if this tower was going up in New York or Chicago, but there's a lot of buzz about this based on the fact that this massive high-rise is going up in Oklahoma City, in Oklahoma. The $1.5 billion hotel and condo complex has been greeted with a fair share of skepticism from those saying it's just too big and going up in the wrong location.
Yeah, that would be the wrong location. This is going to be a complete waste.
Once again, I do believe that is Tornado Alley, so they might want to reinforce. And finally, like general stores of the old Wild West, a hardware store in San Francisco is moving to one-on-one shopping in order to fight what they call rampant shoplifting. From now on, customers at Fredrickson's Hardware and Paint will no longer be allowed to just walk around and browse the aisles. Nope. They'll be confined to an area behind a desk while an employee gathers the items they wish to purchase. Manager Sam Black understands that this may be aggravating to some of their regular customers, but he's been left with no alternative due to thieves making off with tools, along with what he calls snatch and grab incidents where the bad guys steal entire displays.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen to a lot of stores in the near future. Everything behind the counter.
Service merchandise.
That was a store that did that years ago, and they went out of business, right? They
Well,
were
they
ahead of their
did.
time. They were way ahead of their time.
It might be a model whose time might have come back around.
All right.
Don't you think they'll just adopt the truck stop model where, you know, the truck has to be weighed when it enters and the truck has to be weighed when it leaves? And if the weight of the customer with the truck is off by more than the groceries, something, you know, one of your sticky cages or trap doors opens up and captures the customer for stealing?
Something.
Pretty sure that's how the Amazon grocery stores work. It's something very similar to that.
All right. We
should
haven't set up
our
the giveaway.
Yep, we haven't done that yet. Alan, you're the man with the controls, so go ahead and maybe St. Patrick or something, whatever you choose.
Hashtag something, 4-leaf clover, hashtag what? What do you want to do?
I can't say anything. I can't say anything if I've got it on mute, can I? Let's do St. Patty with D's, and I'll put it up on the screen in the moment, because I've been told by the Irish pub here at Disney World that it is not correct to say St. Patty.
No.
It is correct to say St. Patty.
True.
How do you like that? How do you like that, Chicagoans? We got something right after all, right?
Teeny, please.
STPADDY. Hashtag St. Patty.
Here's what we got for you. And don't worry about capitalization, but don't put any spaces in there. That is going to throw it off.
Or periods or anything else, yes.
All right, put that in the queue.
Here's where we start with our friends from Oh Yes, our house band. Oh Yes koozie, bracelet, and guitar pick. I think this one features our friend Brian playing the bass. Looks pretty cool. We've got a bendable and excuse me, cat. Please. And a ball liquor from Tracy in Wisconsin. We've got a pile of poo from Scott's Vintage Antiques and Collectibles.
Don't see that very often.
Also from Scott, we have an autographed Bob's Big Boy and a fortune-telling fish. He also provided us with Alcatraz matches. How about a candy necklace? Always delightful and very springy in its colors. The Corcorans have provided us with stickers. This one of a capybara. God, I almost forgot what rodent I was talking about. Of course, Alan got us the custom magnets. And finally, is that everything? Cat may be sitting on something else. No, that's it. And the prize that started it all, your very own wine condom. There you go.
All
Lots of cool stuff. St. Patty.
Hashtag St. Patty to try to win that. And Alan, let me know if we're ready. We kind of started late in the program.
Not a lot of people queued up just yet.
Yeah, we've only got a few people in the queue.
If you want to try.
I have one more story. Do you want to just?
Yeah, why don't you do that? And then if people want to jump on, hashtag St. Patty.
Very topical. Today was a tough one for many McDonald's restaurants. The fast food chain suffered a system failure that shut down operations across the nation and beyond. McDonald's restaurants as far away as Japan and Australia were unable to process telephone and online orders. The company says it's working to resolve the issue as soon as possible. They also apologize for any inconvenience.
Is this one of those ransom things?
I don't know, but there was one of those malware situations at a children's hospital in Chicago that occurred weeks ago, and they're still trying to dig out from this thing.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of scary when you see system-wide issues. It doesn't seem like it's, just your standard glitch anymore.
All right, Alan, are you ready to push the button?
Sure.
Here we go. Computer decide. Okay, Lisa. All right, Alan, tell Lisa what to do.
Lisa, email your mailing address to Garry Meier Show at GarryMeier.com or text it to 773-888-2157. Regular charges apply. And Leslie will get that stuff down to the post office, and the post office, they do what they do.
Right. Eventually.
By the way, know that when you do receive your gift, the return address is not my home address. It is the address of the Westmont post office. So
in case you're trying to stalk
do
her.
not mail stuff back to that.
All right. This is the home of the kissing schnauzers. And we thank you for watching. Have a great St. Patrick's Day weekend. Time for the cannoli coming down the aisle. It's delicious. Please take it. It's complimentary. Look at that. Beautiful. Now, what about that schnauzer for the weekend?
Apparently, I'm tracking with one of our viewers who mentioned it earlier, and I wrote it here down on the paper, and I said, dye your schnauzer green. So that is the plan for this weekend.
All right. It's 3 in the green. Gear is down, flaps are down. The Voice of the Globe, America's podcast, the GarrForce. We'll talk to you on Monday. We have landed.
And that's it for all the news and nonsense here at the GarrForce.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce.
Thanks for streaming. Like, subscribe, and be kind. But no need to rewind. It sure would be terrific if you subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
More eyeballs.
If you're watching this show recorded, that button is right here. And if you'd like to look at past episodes, try that button.
Boom. Shakalaka.
That's it. All right. How do you shut this thing off?